back today to do a live charm reading for everyone. And maybe pull some cards as well, but mainly I came on here because I just wanted to do a live charm reading. I do a lot of those over on my Instagram page, but I don't do a lot of them on my channel, so I wanted to start recording more of those. I have a lot of fun with the charm readings. I feel like I get messages just as if I was reading the tarot, honestly, but it's lighter in energy for me. I always feel like it's not quite so heavy. When I'm reading the tarot, some of the messages can be very heavy and it's a lot more to carry energetically. Whereas the charm readings are a little bit more light and fun. And I wanted to do one today. The light is great today for recording. And yeah, I was just inspired today. Before I jump in, I do want to say I am still accepting donations first and foremost. All donations are really appreciated this time. People have not been donating. There was only one donation, and that was I don't know, like a week or so ago. I've recorded a lot since then. I'm trying to produce a lot of good content for my channel, and your support would really help me to keep going at this time, even if it's just $10, honestly. So if you can donate, it makes my whole world spin when you donate. I get really excited, and it just makes me feel like I'm moving forward and there's like forward momentum and stuff with my channel. I am also offering private readings still, so if you'd like to book a private reading and support me that way, you can be more than welcome to send a payment. It's $77 for 30 minutes and $88.88 for the 45 minutes. I am still partnering with Jackery. The link is going to be in the description box below. They do solar power generators. Still kind of bear with me. I'm still kind of recovering from not being well. I always say I sound a little bit froggy, but today was actually the first day I felt like I wanted to hum a little tune in the shower. And the thing is that, and this is what brings me, this is like the most important thing that I have to say today, is that all of a sudden I heard the Beethoven song Ode to Joy. That was the little tune that came to me in the shower. And since I haven't been well, so it's like weeks since I actually was able to carry a tune because I haven't been well because of my nose and my throat and everything. And it's actually probably more like months because this is the second round of me not feeling good. And that was a song that came to me. So I forgot. I know it sounds terrible, but like I couldn't remember if it was Mozart or if it was Beethoven who wrote the song Ode to Joy. And it's Beethoven, and I was like, of course it's Beethoven. And I looked up the meaning of Ode to Joy. And I found that this is, and again, this is the most important message for everyone, for the entire collective, is that the message about Ode to Joy and what it was about peace. It was about a triumphant energy of peace and unity. And, you know, like in my own personal life, I've had a lot of conflict in the past week for a variety of different reasons, whether it's friends or whether it's other people, and it's just different situations. There's just been a lot of conflict, and of course we're in Aquarius, and it's Queen of Swords and King of Swords energy right at this time, so I'm not really surprised, but at the same time, it's been kind of a rough time. And, I've been talking about, in the 2 videos I did about the 7 years of tribulation, I was talking about, war that's coming. And for me to get the Ode to Joy message, from my guides, to me was just kind of like, I don't know, like, kind of out of the blue. a message of peace, a message of positive things to come, like a shift in energy for the better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be just love, joy, and peace for the rest of time. I don't honestly think that, and I don't feel that, but it reminded me that things can shift and change, and reminded me, I don't know, to tell everybody that there's small victories in life, and maybe this is the collective message that, to look for the small victories and to relish times of peace and appreciate times of peace and to appreciate times where in your personal life where you can just listen to music or you can just chill out and not be in conflict mode. For all of 2022, my my whole thing was why. Like, why does it have to be so hard? Why does it feel so hard? And it's just a sign to me of like the times where, or just a time period in my life where things were more challenging. Now, did everybody go through the kind of year that I went through last year? No, but a lot of people did. I wasn't the only person. And it was actually for me to get Ode to Joy, which, I'm psychic. So I'm just reminding everybody that I'm psychic and that music comes to me just as if I was getting a message from one of my spirit guides. Okay. So the message is in music. So like, actually, an interesting thing is I think I mentioned this a while back for those of you who haven't followed me and you're new. A while back when I lived in Omaha, I lost the man that I had moved to Omaha for. And I went to this church, this Lutheran church, and I joined a support group to help me kind of get through it. And honestly, I would not have gotten through that time. And it was a very difficult, challenging time for me. And I had a conversation with one of the pastors there about how spirit and how God talks to people. And he said, haven't you ever turned on the radio in your car and a message has come through? He's like, that's God talking to you. And I thought to myself, that is, but it's also spirit. Okay, so whether you want to call it spirit or whether you want to call it source or whatever you want to call it, it's spirit. It's a message from spirit. So today the message from spirit was about peace. And it was that song, Ode to Joy by Beethoven. And the thing about it is that he couldn't even hear. When he had written that, he could not, he was totally deaf. He could not hear that song. He never got to really experience that song in the way that we could experience it. So we go on YouTube and we look up Beethoven's Ode to Joy and we listen to the full, symphony orchestra playing, and Beethoven never did. And in some strange, ironic way, I was thinking about my whole question of why does it have to be so hard? And why can't things be better or be easier? And the irony is that a deaf man wrote one of the most beautiful songs about peace that's in existence today, like 200 years ago. And to me, that's amazing. To me, that's kind of miraculous and ironic because he didn't get to really enjoy it. Why did it have to be so hard for him? He died when he was 56 years old. He lived half a lifetime, So I don't know. Like, I think one of the messages that I wanted to tell everybody today was about how there can be small victories in life. But if there's anything in your life that you could make easier for somebody else, so let's just say hypothetically, you knew somebody who needed your help, and you didn't make their life better when you could. That is an example of why does it have to be so hard? Why does it have to be that way? Why are you choosing to go the hard route? Because for like Beethoven, who didn't get to experience that song in a full way, in a real way that we would normally experience it. It's like showing up to like the Last Supper and not being able to eat anything because you can't taste it or because your jaw is wired shut. You know what I mean? To me, that's pain, that's suffering, that's sorrow, you know? And if we are contributing to a world and trying to make the world better where it's not pain, suffering, and sorrow, then everybody needs to take extra steps and extra care to make it not so hard for people in this world to get there, to get to their joy or get to their dream or to get to their experience or get to wherever it is that they are going, because we are all trying to get somewhere. And to me, that's like the most important, it's very powerful message right now. Very, very powerful. Why is there war? Well, war exists because we also have peace. We have this polarity. That's the paradigm. That's what we're in. But we have war because people are not making it easy on each other. People are not working together in peace to be like, Beethoven's Ode to Joy, unified collective. People are not. People are in it for themselves. People are in it in a selfish, greedy, I'm going to get whatever I'm going to get today kind of way. They don't give people the leg up when they need it, when they could. There was a person recently in my life, she made something really, really hard for me, which should have been simple, but she made it really hard because of her own greed. And that's the example today. That's the reading today. That's the message of, if you're watching this, then I want everybody to look at their life really hard and look at the people in their life really hard. And if there's something that you can do that's actually that's going to make things easier for somebody else or make a situation easier or make a situation better, then that's the path that we need to start choosing. That's the path that we need to go down. That's the path that we need to experience. Because if we don't want World War III, okay, then we have to start choosing the path that's the Beethoven path, which is recording or creating a beautiful symphony of music when you don't even have the ability to listen to it. That's nothing short of some kind of, to me, that's like a psychic. He had a psychic. He was channeling that music psychically. That's how he did it. It's like a dog that has that extrasensory perception of their nose. They could smell, a lie a mile off. It's a psychic gift. It's not just like they can literally smell it in their nose. No. So no, Beethoven had a psychic gift. That man, he was channeling that music. And he was making the world a better place when he didn't have to. When he didn't even get to experience it. So I want everybody to really think hard about what I'm saying today, because it's just one of those things that kind of blows my mind. Like I said recently, this person that I knew that were no longer good to be even in communication was trying to make my life really hard. Harder than it had to be. So if you know someone, or even in your personal life of where you get to choose to make life better or easier or different or improve upon it in some way, I challenge everyone to take that step. And if somebody if you're choosing to make things harder because of your own greed, then absolutely that is the war path. That's my estimation of the war path. Because it's not collectively contributing to something positive or something better. Okay, I'm impassioned with this. I knew this was going to come up today, but I wanted to express it. It's something that just, that music came to me psychically today. It just popped out of nowhere, and I looked it up, and I was like, it has a deeper, more profound meaning than anybody can really possibly know. And the funny thing is, listening to that music, I tuned in to that music, and I thought to myself, this is a beautiful piece of music. It's a complicated symphony. It's not like, oh, he just like rolled out of bed and wrote something la 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 la. No. I mean, it's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's a work of art. So, I don't know. I thought that was amazing. And it really inspired me. Okay. Gotta pull some more charms because we've got like some story here which is incomplete. This whole message, okay, I swear to God. Okay, so I shit you not. Okay, so we have this, you can see this little charm that says peace on it. And I found this at a clothing store on the floor not too long ago, and I added it to my charm bag, and it says peace on it. I don't know. I want everybody, once this video is posted, to write in the comments and let me know what your definition of peace is and why you think that we're not at peace, and or if you feel at peace personally, or if you feel like that you're going through a tough time or a time of turmoil. Which in my mind, when a person is going through a tough time, they are in that energy of war. They're fighting. They're fighting off the wolves. They're fighting off the devil. They're fighting off people that would wish them ill. They're fighting off energies that want to see them fail or want to bring them down. They are fighting some people are fighting just for survival right now. And I actually do feel like that's a pretty accurate statement, because we have the tomahawk as well. And this is the war energy. So we have war and we have peace, So I'm interested to see, definitely message me in the comments, or if you want to comment here in the chat, it's totally cool. What your opinion is on, war and peace right now. Like, do you feel like, we're headed for a time of peace? Do you feel like we're headed for, wartime? Or, like, how are the energies affecting you, I guess? So that's coming through strongly here. We have this charm, which I don't usually talk about. If it comes out, it's a pair of wings. You can see it's like a pair of like angel wings. And, to me, I made a time capsule for myself. This was many years ago. I think back when I lived in Omaha, and I had bought this at that time. And I wrote a letter about how I had already gone through so much that all I really needed was to step through one more door and a pair of wings. And those of you who are watching, you might be going through a time where it seems like you're like, oh God, oh shit, fuck, damn it, I don't want to have to go through anymore, or I don't want to have to step through another door, or I don't want to have to go through more tests, or why is life so hard, or why is there so many obstacles to getting to what I want, or why are my dreams not manifesting? And I will tell you, this came to me today, this whole song, this about, the Ode to Joy song, really brought up a lot about how, if, let's just say hypothetically, we were going down the path of robotics, which I've talked about before. And we were going down a path towards more what I would consider like, the dark energy wanting to flatten things out and compress everything. Going towards more universal basic income, going towards less freedoms and less rights for people, and more CHIPS and more IMPLANTS, and less humanity and less love and less connection, and less freedom. If we were going down that, then it would make really, logical sense that it would be really hard right now, especially for light workers, or for people that do have a larger message, or for influencers that aren't part of the agenda. It would make, for the everyday person, it really hard to be in their flow, to have stronger connections with their partners or stronger connections with loving relationships. It would make it harder in all sort of different aspects of life if that was that weird trajectory we were going down. It would make absolute sense why things were hard or harder than they have to be. And again, that is the collective message of things. Why are things harder than they have to be? And why isn't, the light coming in at this time? Why are people expecting somebody else to do it? Why are people not taking ownership, not taking responsibility, behaving in a way that does not reflect accountability, and it doesn't show or reflect their humanity? So these are big questions. Here I was thinking that I was going to be recording a light charm reading. Here I am. I don't know what it is today. I don't know. But yeah. We do have a couple of butterflies coming out. A little light, some light butterfly. There's a bunch of butterfly charms that are coming out. The butterfly charms are really all about children. They're all about kids, having kids, spending time with kids. So I definitely feel some of you are very focused on your kids. If you have kids at this time, so to me that's coming through. We have 2 gold starfish also, and the starfish to me are children. But the starfish are also celestial beings and help from spirit, which we need right now. It's interesting because there's this little, it's hard to see, it's a little a life preserver charm. That's what it's called, it's a life preserver. It looks like a little donut, and to me that's like a life preserver. It represents needing help, asking for help from other people. So, it's interesting that it's showing up right next to these 2 starfish. And I started to see pinpoints of light, or connect with more like star beings just before I started my YouTube channel. This was back in 2013. In 2013, I slept on the floor and I didn't have any furniture, and I lived in an apartment that I could barely afford. I really couldn't afford it. And that time I was trying to find like a second job because my job at the time wasn't providing really enough for me to live comfortably. I went through several blow up mattresses, and I'd be in this place of questioning a lot. This place of I don't know, what I think of as like my 0 point, or my point in time where I really could not get rid of anything else there wasn't to get anything to get rid of. Everything was empty, you know? I felt empty. I felt like I didn't know how things were gonna work it themselves out. So at that time, it was very difficult for me to not want to give up or to not want to just say, you know what, fuck it all. And I remember that point in time because um, it was so like mentally like stressful for me. And that point in time, I look back at my journals and how I started drawing these I started drawing stars. I started drawing stars, and I started drawing and connecting to like beings of light. And it was basically like my way of saying like asking for help. It was like me placing a call and saying, okay, I really need help now, you know? I remember people at that time kind of looking at me like, why didn't I do different things? And why was my situation so dire? And I think, at that time, people who really didn't really understand were, they were just sort of in the periphery. Like they became part of the periphery. And I didn't know at that time what was going to happen with my YouTube channel. And I didn't know at that time that I would, you know, start reading tarot like every single day. And, you know, I was so crazy busy with clients, you know, not too far. And I didn't know that I was going to come to the end of my lease on that apartment and be free of carrying around that weight of that contract and that apartment. And you know, so some of you, I feel like you're gonna come to the end of some, I don't know if it's contract or something that, you know, that's weighing you down. That's what I feel like. I feel like some of you, like you're gonna come to the end of something that's, or a period in your life that's weighing you down. This message did kind of come through a little bit over on Instagram when I did a recording over there recently. But I feel like this is different because this to me has a kind of this strange sort of energy of like 2013 that I remember. That's very much about not necessarily realizing that you are going through this time or that we're going to get through this time. Not really seeing how things can kind of unfold naturally and how things can work out and that things will work out, but it's not working out necessarily in a way that you can really anticipate. Like, I could not, when I was living in Virginia at that time, I could not have anticipated what was going to happen with my YouTube channel. I was not going to, I couldn't possibly consider it. It was something that was just totally out of my scope. So some of you, this is interesting. Some of you are going to become famous. Some of you, I always say that fame happens to people that place a call to God when nothing else is working. And, you know, many, and I, you know, like if you listen to any like of the awards, you know, artists, musicians, actors, actresses, they all say that they all talk about how at one point that they had nothing, that they lived in their car, that they were working maybe at a restaurant somewhere for minimum wage, you know, barely surviving, maybe not even showering much, and they lived off nothing. And then one day it happened, like a breakthrough happened. You know, so I feel like for some of you, a breakthrough is going to happen, but not in a way that you're expecting. It could be from, I want to say the influence is from friends, but the influence can also be from, to me, it's sort of just like you placed a call, you know, that's what it seems like. It seems like many of you that are watching have placed a kind of call with the universe where you have said, and it has been the message has been heard and has been received, that you need assistance or you need help, or that you want assistance or help, or that you're at a place in time where you really can't go any further without assistance or help. I feel like some of you and if you're that person that's placed a call like that, then I feel like there is a very strong chance that there's going to be things that develop in your life that you have and it might not be like, again, fame or fortune. Okay, it might not. For some of you, it's just a turning of events that kind of unfolds in a way which you cannot anticipate, which allow you to move forward, allow you to, overcome blockages, or allow you to overcome resistance, or allow you to overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with. And we're all dealing with something right now, whether we express it or not. Oh, I want to say this. Okay, so I want to do a specific video that talks about burnout and talks about the energy of a little bit about depression and a little bit about feeling like you don't really want to do anything. And that is going to be a separate video. I don't know when I'm going to record that. I might get to it today. It depends on this reading and how much longer I'm recording here for. But there's a YouTuber that I want to recommend. She did a video about that. And it's the Lavender, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Lavender channel. I'm going to leave a link to her, to the video below. My video, the one that I want to do, is a little bit different than hers in the sense that I wanted to make it more of like a pick a card reading, or just more of like specifically, kind of break it up a little bit more of like a pick a card reading where people can see what I say specifically about where they're at and what's going to help. But she did this video, and in the video she talked about not consuming content that brings you down, or that, and I'm not saying the words right. She says that makes you feel bad about your situation or about yourself. And it's so interesting because I feel like there's so much content out there that we might not even realize that we're consuming or watching videos that make us feel crappy about our life in some way. So like, it was, to me, the best piece of advice that anybody could have given me, and I didn't even know how I started watching that video. I'm online a lot doing, like, trying to edit and post my stuff, so I always get recommended videos, and it came up, and I think it came up because I have tried, since I've been, not feeling well, trying to find motivational videos, trying to find things that are going to inspire me and bring a positive energy. But when I watched hers, I really felt like I didn't realize that certain things that I had been watching had been making me feel badly about where I am in life. And I think that part of social media, especially right now, does it on purpose, or does it in a way that we don't even realize is affecting us. So for me, for example, I might watch something where I might see, a woman, maybe she's happily married, maybe she's pregnant with her second child. This is just an example, okay? Pregnant with her second child, and she's talking about what she's going to put in her hospital bag, or what she's going to bring for her labor and delivery, or what she's going to buy for the nursery, or things like that. And I'm a person who's not married. I'm single. I haven't had kids yet. So if I'm looking at that video, there's going to be a strong chance that I'm going to feel like I have a lot of catching up to do, that like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or that I don't have what I need to have, or I'm not prepared in some way. And so this is just an example, okay? This is more of a personal example, but you can really, hopefully you guys get what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content, a lot of videos where there's other people doing things that or have things that maybe we don't have, or going through experiences, going on crazy cool trips maybe, and it makes us feel like that maybe we're not doing anything or less positive about ourselves. And I think it's important to remember to really think about what content you're watching at this time, and how it's influencing your mental health, and to try not to compare yourself to other people that are in different situations, because you don't know what people are truly going through, number one, okay? And number two is, I don't believe in mistakes in life. I believe in setbacks. I believe that things can take us longer to get from where we're going, but we're all on the correct path. We haven't, even if we F up in some kind of way, it's still the correct path. It's still the path that we chose for ourselves. So I guess I want to remind everybody, especially those of you who are not feeling positive about things, that you're feeling less positive about things, to kind of really watch or become more aware of what you're watching, and become aware of like who you're following. And I feel like this is going to become more of a thing later down the road. Part of it, that video that I watched where she recommended that, because it was basically a video about feeling burnt out, or feeling depressed, or feeling like you're not being productive enough, things like that. And that video alone got like 3 million views. So there's people out there that feel not so good about where they're at because of the content that they're watching, because what they see out in the world is not reflecting accurately back to what they're experiencing. It's not a match. So it's like I go online and I see someone who's got it all, and I go, okay, well, my life really does not look that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's some of it, I think, is like I don't know, it's like subliminal or subconscious or whatever. And then there are other things where it's where we might have sought out those kinds of videos or that kind of content because we wanted inspiration, and it's nice to see somebody else, having a great time on a solo hiking trip, or it's really nice to see, other people that can afford to buy their kids clothes. But I think that at the end of the day, with social media, it's really important to just be aware of what you're watching. I think that's one of the messages that's coming through today. And I was so inspired by it, but I'm going to be doing a separate whole video about, and it's going to be, I think, like I said, a pick a card reading where I give specific piles, different things that I recommend to do, like that I might recommend. Some of the messages things that come through are very pertinent or accurate for the times, okay? And it's interesting, we have this pineapple charm showing up for this reading, and I keep meeting people that say they don't have any friends. I keep meeting people that said that they don't have any social life. I keep meeting people that say they never make any calls. They wouldn't make any calls to anybody. They only do text, and they barely even really talk to anybody. So I feel like the collective message is, number one, to work on your social life. Work on reaching out, even if it's making one phone call a day, one phone call a week, it doesn't even matter. Reach out make a phone call to somebody, even if you go to voicemail, you know it's going to go to voicemail. I feel like there's a lot, and this is going to become more of a thing, but it seems that everybody I meet, including people who are younger, so like, I met this girl the other day. She's only 18, and we were talking, and somehow she tells me that she doesn't have any friends. She has one friend, she says. And I don't know, like I think back to like my grandparents and what they taught me about being social, and the importance of being social and community. And they were always part of some community. So like I feel like community is a thing right now. So I would highly encourage everybody. I don't join a club, start a club, do a book club, do some kind of support group, something where there's some kind of aspect, social aspect to their life. Because part of it is, I don't know, part of it is like a rebuilding of what collectively, culturally we've lost, number one. And number two, part of it is to create some kind of support system for yourself where when things get really hard, there are people to lean on. Because the dark, I'm just going to say this, the dark wants people to be depressed, to be sick, to be moving very slowly, to not talk to anybody, to only communicate through social media or through some sort of device, to not have a loving, healthy connection, and to basically be mentally unstable. And I was thinking about this too recently, and again, I'm passionate about these things today. I'm really passionate. But I was thinking about how, part of it is to me, it's like a mental health crisis. It's depression. It's, how long has it been since you or, someone hugged each other? How long has it been since you had a loving, healthy connection or heart-to-heart conversation with somebody? How long can a person go without feeling loved, without feeling supported? And like, there's two paths that people can go down with this. One is that they can end up in a place of bitterness where they don't want to talk to anybody because everybody has got a bad attitude. And that their experience has been non-loving humans. So it's like the programming that goes in, okay, and the path that results from an experience with people who suck and people who aren't loving is that the message that a person gets in their head is that it's pointless. It's pointless to even try. It's pointless to connect. And then you have walls, and then you have people that are cold, you have people that don't care, and that have learned not to care because the only message that they got, or the only experience that they had was non-loving humans. So, the path that you can go down, especially as you become older, is a path of bitterness, or you can go down the path of working on community, building community, building a sense of, if something were to happen to you, there's a person that you can call that's going to listen, that's going to care. And I want to say this is super important. It's come to my attention recently that when you, let's just say, called someone, or, let's just say you got a text message from someone and they said, I'm having a really bad night. Showing up for them is not ignoring all of what they said, only to talk about yourself. And say, well, I had a really bad day today, but you didn't address the fact that the person just texted you and said, I had a really bad night, So showing up for other people is not denying them the respect or the courtesy of acknowledging their experience and just talking about your own, because that to me is selfish, and it's disrespectful. I think there needs to be a healthy balance, okay, especially going forward, of give and take, back and forth. People share, and they say, this is what's going on with me. And then somebody says, yes, I can see that you're going through a hard time. And then they say, well, what about you? And then they say, well, I'm actually going through a hard time myself. And they say, well, I can see, how that might be difficult. And so you see what just happened? This is a balance. So I don't know why it's coming up, but it is. We have a very special charm, and this is the last charm. This is, this reading is going on for a while. Is this beautiful little, it's a little heart. It's like a little heart locket that opens. And this was the very first charm that I got. I was ambitious, and I was thinking to myself, I'm just going to, start a charm collection. Eventually I'll have enough charms to be able to offer charm readings. That was my goal. And I did not know my charm collection would become what it is. Reading charms would be what it is. But again, this was the very first charm that I got. And at the time, I thought to myself, okay, if I pull this charm, then that means that, whoever it is I've pulled it for, that means I'm going to be in the ultimate relationship. I'm going to, get married, and this is going to be my Mr. Right. And they're going to be all kinds of crazy, hella perfect. And it's going to be a perfect relationship. And it's going to be everything that I ever wanted. And it's going to be the ultimate thing. And little did I know that my view on relationship was going to change. That understanding love was going to become like a multifaceted diamond, where it's not just about finding a perfect person, where relationships are not about a perfect human being, where relationships are not about, everything going in a very linear way and, getting married and living happily ever after. But it was really about, it became about learning the different kinds of love. It became about learning about being loved from an animal, from plants, from connecting to beings in spirit that I had never made the connection were even there. Connecting to beings in spirit that are loving and supportive, connecting to deceased loved ones. So love became understanding unconditional love. It became understanding family love. It became understanding friends love. It became understanding love can come in unusual and different ways that we're not expecting. And the message for everyone, and I want everyone to write in the notes, in the comments below when this video is posted, say out loud, I am open to love in all forms. That is of my highest good. I am open to love in all forms. Because I think that when I later pulled this, it became about how people limit themselves to thinking that love is only about this kind of fairy tale romance that we're taught to want. And it's not. Being unconditionally loving is incredibly powerful. Feeling the love from a dog who actually really loves you is incredibly powerful. Feeling like at a very low point and then having spiritual beings that love you and that energy of love come in right at the point where you're like, there's no one there for me. I'm all alone. And then you have these beautiful beings in spirit that come in to love you and they show you love. To me, it's a mind-blowing thing. It's mind-blowing. It goes so beyond our limited, here is the fairy tale on a platter, and here is what we're all supposed to be wanting. And this is what's male and what's female, and this is what's right and wrong, and this is what love is. And of course, nobody really understands it because we're all taught this very, very narrow perspective about what love is. And so I want everybody to write in the comments, I am open to love in all forms. And you may not get the relationship that you're wanting, but love is always available, whether you can see it or feel it or not. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And again, you're not taught that in school, but you know, what are all you're taught in school that's helpful? Not very much. Okay, so let's see if I can see if there's anything else. If there's a question, let's just say you're thinking to yourself, should I take a trip somewhere? The answer is going to be yes. If you're asking the question, am I going to get married? The answer is yes. If you're asking the question, are things going to work out with me and so and so? I feel like the answer is yes. But at the same time, I would tell you, some people get into very complicated situations. And if you're in a complicated situation, the answer could also be no. To that one. But there's a big yes coming through. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing a big yes. So for some of you, you know, to me, this is about saying yes to life, saying yes to things, to good things, to positive things, being open to positive things. I would really examine where you're at with things when you're saying no to something at this time. I feel like you're going to say yes to a job. For some of you, the answer is yes to the job. For some of you, third-party situations and situations that where there's cheating, the answer is no. Of course, you know, and I would say, you know, if there's like an ex or something, the answer, well, if you're gonna get back with an ex, the answer is yes, but probably should be no. Anyways, okay, I think I want to kind of leave off here. I've been recording for like almost an hour now. So thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. I appreciate it so much. It's been such an interesting, I don't know, reading, and there's so much that's come through today. So hopefully you've gotten something from it. But, you know, definitely, like I said, in the comments below, you know, let me know that you're saying yes to love. You're saying yes to love in all forms. I would encourage everybody to go out and buy a plant a tree, grow something from the seed. And yeah, I think that's all that I want to say for now. I do feel like there's some luck coming your way. There's something lucky that's coming out here. There's several things about good luck happening. So I feel like for some of you that want to know, like, if your luck is going to change or if you're going to be lucky, I feel like the answer is yes to that question. Okay, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. If you can, please give me a thumbs up. Really helps. Please share my videos. I still have very low views. It's going to take me in about probably 30 to 40 more live recordings before I'm able to even monetize my channel. So again, all donations are appreciated. I don't know, I'm really on a beeline for those 40 videos. But it's just a lot of energy and effort. And hopefully I've inspired people, and hopefully you guys appreciate it. So I wish you guys all the best, and I'll be back again for more. So stay tuned, and yeah, talk to you soon. Take care.